Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Department of English, SGK Government Degree College, Vinukonda, AP, India, I am delighted to welcome you all to today's webinar, Paradigm Shifts in English Literature and Linguistics, a 21st Century Overview. We are very happy to make the speakers and participants from different corners of the globe to contribute to this event. The Department of English has organized 3 national and international webinars so far and provided a platform to all the English stakeholders to discuss, explore, and achieve novel perspectives and ideas in literature and linguistics. The webinar were organized with the collaboration of eminent speakers, both from home and abroad, to explore the nuances of the topic and trust areas at its best. In line with the above events, today's webinar, Paradigm Shifts in English Literature and Linguistics, a 21st Century Overview, has been designed to bring both literature and linguistics under one canopy, so that exploration shall be made and discussed on both literature and linguistics equally and identify the challenges and paradigms. Keeping this idea in perspectives, no particular trust areas are provided for the paper presenters, and in turn were given full liberty to come up with their own topic with their own exploration, hoping this will make the webinar even more interesting and inquisitive. Through this webinar, it's inspiring to see the shared interest in the paradigm shifts in both English literature and linguistics. I welcome all the English fraternity. If you are interested to learn something new, this is a wonderful opportunity to connect yourself to the learned professionals and resource persons from abroad and explore new perspectives in this field. This webinar brings before you all the 5 speakers and experts who will be sharing their knowledge and experiences, and I request you all the participants to engage yourself actively with your queries and make the most of the opportunity. A humble and mandatory instructions to all participants. Please keep your microphones muted during presentations to avoid background noise. If you have any queries, you can ask during the question answer session at the end. Once again, I welcome and thank you for all the stakeholders being here, and I look forward with curiosity by your sheer, jubilant, and enthusiastic participation. And I hope my dream might come true. Now I request our Honorable Principal and Chairman of this webinar, Dr. K. Srinivasarao sir, to render his inaugural address. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Do you hear me, madam?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I could hear you.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Srinivasarao, Principal, Government Degree College, Vinukonda. I warmly welcome you all to this one-day international webinar on the topic Paradigm Shift in English Literature and Linguistics, a 21st Century Overview, which is going to organized by the Department of English, SGK Government Degree College, Vinukonda. We are happy to have so many great minds from around the world joining us today, even though we are meeting online. First of all, I wish to take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks to our respected higher authorities, Sri N. Bharat Kumar Gupta, IAS, Director of Collegiate Education, Dr. C. Krishna, Joint Director, Office of the Commissioner of Collegiate Education.
Excuse me, sir.
Dr.
Please on your video, sir.
Madam.
Please on your video, sir. You are not visible.
Video is on. Video is on. Video is on, madam.
Okay, sir.
It is on. And Dr. P. Kalavati, madam, RJD of Regional Joint Director of Collegiate Education, Zone 3, Guntur, for their constant support and encouragement. I would like to thank and congratulate the Department of English, which is headed by Mrs. N. Vasanthi, for planning and organizing this international event. Their hard work has brought together many people who love English from both India and other countries. In today's fast-moving world, it is very important to share and learn knowledge from others, no matter where they are. This webinar gives us a great chance to listen to experts, learn new ideas, and understand important topics in English literature and language. I give a special welcome to our respected speakers. Thank you so much for giving your valuable time to be with us and share your thoughts. Your presence makes this event more special. I also thanks to organizing team for working hard behind the scenes to make this program happen. Once again, I welcome you all. I hope today's webinar will be the meaningful and memorable experience for everyone. I wish for good discussions and learning during the sessions.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your welcoming inaugural address. Dear participants,
This
before we
webinar be a big success. Continue with the
thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Dear participants, in a nutshell, I just present the program schedule of the day. Our plenary session shall begin from 10:15 a.m. to 1 p.m. From 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., there will be lunch break. Technical sessions shall be commencing between 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. and valedictory shall be by 4 p.m. The webinar ends up with feedback, queries, and vote of thanks. Okay, now we can let's get started. Our plenary session begins with the speaker, Dr. Yaroslava Hirshina. She is a senior lecturer, Department of Theory, Practice and Translation, Veselstas Donetsk National University, Vinnytsia, Ukraine. And her topic of presentation is The Power of Words, Unleashing the Potential of Modern English Language and Literature. But before that, I request our zoology head, Dr. Ramakisha Behra sir, to read out the speaker's profile. Over to you, sir. Please, sir.
Thank you, madam. Madam, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Now, I would like to introduce Dr. Yaroslava Ishoshokina. Dr. Yaroslava is currently working as teacher of English, German languages and literature in higher education institutions, translator from English, German, Veslova Status Domesticus National University since 2007. Her professionalism encompasses to provide teaching of disciplines at high scientific, theoretical, and methodical levels according to the program philosophy, to conduct lectures, tutorials, and ensure the achievement of planned learning outcomes, to improve the professional level and pedagogical skills, to adhere to the norms of pedagogical ethics, academic virtue in the educational and scientific activity, to develop initiatives and creative abilities in students, to conduct or take part in scientific events like competitions, scientific conferences, etc., to participate in open door days, career guidance work, and potential application of higher education, to elaborate the syllabus of the discipline and update it according to the internal quality and assurance system, to create, compile educational and methodical materials for disciplines, to consult to students in accordance with their individual educational needs, to develop criteria and assessment tools, to provide students with feedback on assessment results, recommendations for improving learning outcomes, to take part in research project, topic of the faculty, to prepare and publish articles, to participate in meetings, workshops, groups, professional associations. Welcome, ma'am, for this webinar and preside over your topic of presentation. Thank you very much.
Greetings from
Thank you very
Ukraine.
much, sir.
Madam.
Thanks a lot for such a detailed presentation. It's an honor to me to take part in such an important event with the opportunity just to present my recent research. I would say just a first sketch in that field, because I'm going to focus on the language aspect, and my colleague Irina Zapukhliak will continue this topic. She will deal with the literary aspect. I would like to start with the topic that I would like to highlight. So the general idea is the power of words, unleashing the potential of modern English. Language is not just a tool for communication. It's a dynamic force. It shapes our thoughts, It reflects our cultural values. It influences the development of societies. And English is an example of this dynamic nature that moves the development of society forward. English is a particular language. It is remarkable for its adaptability and capacity for innovation. And that allowed it to evolve continuously, incorporating new words, expressions that reflect the ever-changing world around us. So language, I would call that as a vibrant element, as a breathing organism, constantly evolving, adapting, reflecting the society that uses it. And among the world's languages, English stands apart due to its ability to be like the global means of communication, due to its extraordinary flexibility, due to openness to changes. And this particular adaptability allows English to become a linguistic power, a linguistic powerhouse. And due to this form, in today's world, fast changing, the appearance and coinage of new words has become more rapid and visible than ever before, revealing much about who we are and how we communicate in the 21st century. First of all, I would like to focus on some modern trends in linguistics. In the spotlight currently, the so-called corpus linguistics. It focuses on huge data of textual information of different discourses, and it provides the scholar with the opportunity to gain the result within a minute or even less. Corpus linguistics implies the usage of different corpora for certain needs. You can find the usage of the word, you can find the combinability, you can find the similar patterns in several languages because there are parallel corpuses, corpora. And this is a great trend. This is a modern trend. This is what is happening now, what is being developed. I have to focus that currently one project is particular interesting in terms of the amount of scholars involved. This project has been launched quite recently. I guess it took 2 years to fill the test and provide necessary questions for developing the same patterns in different languages. This project is called multi-word expressions, and this project implies involvement of a lot of people from different countries all over the world. Currently, they provide the opportunity to deal with 30 languages. And from Ukraine, we also have representatives who provide the Ukrainian language, who move our language forward to be presented at the international level. Multi-word expressions like to take part in favor of, to be interested in. So there should be a keyword and some dependent word that is used like a regular pattern. And corpus linguistics provides us with plenty of texts. So you can find this project on the link. I will provide a presentation, and I guess it would be delivered to your emails or to the chat for you to check the link and to see what has been already achieved and what is the stage of the development of this project. Currently, there is a conference taking place. It will take the whole week for participants from different countries to get insight and further understanding on the way how this project should be developed and the choice of multi-word expressions. Another trend is typological or comparative studies on language corpora. Again, we deal with the corpus linguistics. And currently, I would say a brand new way to present your analysis based not only several languages, to conduct not only comparative or contrastive study, but to incorporate AI, artificial intelligence, to assist you in this case. And here there is a split of opinions. There are scholars who believe there should be only one scholar who can deal with no more than 2 languages. It means there should be more people involved. There is the assumption that a person should not or cannot know a language to such an advanced level for being able to conduct a proper research. And there is another trend. I would say mostly it is presented by the West Europe. Scholars try to incorporate as many languages as possible, but usually these studies present mostly not typological but comparative or contrastive research. Like 2, 3, 4, or 5 languages can be analyzed. Usually this is the limit. That's why with the help of AI technologies, with the understanding how it works, there is a new opportunity for scholars, for linguists to facilitate and to get and I would say involve much more data than it was possible before. And certainly approaches are being changed. And this is due to the artificial intelligence. Also, I can't but mention translation and interpretation studies devoted to English in comparison with other languages. There is no denying English in the spotlight. Another trend is discourse studies and cognitive linguistics. Actually, there are a lot of things that is being developed currently, and linguistics is abundant in variety of trends at the moment. But I would like to focus on something that is showing up right now. I can't say that this is a brand new trend because the basis, the fundamentals were, I would say, formulated many years ago. But that trend, that branch of linguistics, lingvography, was in the shadow, was not highlighted, was not brought up for the general public. The example of such a case is like to find, for example, Latin elements in different languages and their new value. Let's see how it works. So if I were to focus on lingvography as a science, I would mention this is one of the research aspects of linguistic graphemics. Today, lingvography, formerly graphic linguistics, does not have a proper description. And we need to define its exact status, foundations, meta-language, and research aspects. Frankly speaking, there is no single nomination for this field of study. There are neither definitions nor a distinct basic terminology. So, the formation of linguistics as a scientific field and a scientific direction dates back to the 11th century.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Right?
Sorry to interrupt you. But
Yeah.
your slides are not visible, ma'am. Slides.
My slides are not visible. That's strange because it shows as if I am demonstrating them. Let's try to do it once more. What about now?
Now it's okay, ma'am. Now it's
thank
okay.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I am happy about that. So let me proceed to the lingvography as a science. I can't but mention certain modern linguists who made their contribution, a particular input to the development of the foundations of this branch. And you can see on this slide a variety of those who made some, I would say, sometimes it were not like innovations, but all that was created and published helped to develop the fundamentals of the lingvography. So I can't but mention the Ukrainian scholar Alexandra Potembinya, who initiated the early exploration into graphic and symbolic representation in language. In 1996, in the works of Leonid Bolokhovsky and as well as Yuli Shevelov in 2008, there was a continuation of the ideas developed by and launched by Alexander Potemnya. Later on, among the contemporary Ukrainian linguists who have developed certain aspects of lingvography, I will have to mention such scholars as Оксана Бабилюк, Олена Білецька, Тетяна Подайчук, Павло Донець, Анатолій Загнітко, Тетяна Космеда, Лариса Макарюк, Василь Німчук, Єлизавета Присада, Лілія Соболь, Ірина Фаріон, Лілія Українець. I can but mention that their united work has managed to provide the emergence of this lingvography. That was the basics for the new science. However, in the process of creating a foundation for a general theory of the development of writing, for the study of low writing systems, in particular audio, verbal, syllabic, and alphabetic, the American linguist Ignaz Galip in 1868 updated the nomination of grammatology to denote the study of science. So grammatology is one more, another notion to denote the same branch. David Crystal distinguished between graphetics and graphology. As he defines it, graphetics, a term coined by analogy to phonetics, studies how people create, transmit, and perceive written symbols. Unlike phonetics, which developed an obvious theodicity to describe the properties of speech sounds, there is still no sophisticated graphic classification. And although typographers have made limited use of the terminology, the first graphic classification was used to denote the most essential features of the shape of letters. In contrast, graphology, which arose from analogy to phonology, studies the linguistic contrast that writing systems express. In particular, it recognizes the concept of a grapheme by analogy to a phoneme, the smallest unit in a writing system, capable of causing a contrast in meaning. So in this respect, I will have to mention some Ukrainian textbooks that were published in 2002 and 2016 that was also devoted to the background of lingvography. And unfortunately, the approach to this branch was like, I would say, a bit changed. This branch was regarded as grammatology. It was interpreted like this, as a general theory and the history of writing, but it wasn't singled out yet.
Excuse me, ma'am.
If I were to...
Excuse me, ma'am.
Oh,
Please change your slide, ma'am.
I have changed the slide. Let's do once more. I will try to launch the presentation again.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So to sum up with lingvography, it is interdisciplinary science at the intersection of multiple fields. And it is connected with cultural history, graphology, printing, different branches of linguistics like punctuation, phonetics, phonology, language history, etymology, text linguistics, social linguistics, psycholinguistics, creative linguistics, and cognitive linguistics as well. So a lot can be enumerated here. And I would like to focus on the following idea. The problem of lingvography depends on external causes of changes in the language. First of all, the invention and the spread of writing, printing, the development of mass communication, internet broadcasting, as well as internal reasons, primarily from the main language system. And this contradiction between the norm and the possibilities of language, code and the text, the structure of the oral sign, as well as the written form, that's what makes the scholar to choose what to study. Let me provide you some examples. Has the picture changed? Have I proceeded to this slide with examples? Can you see the examples of Latin letters actualized in English when they receive extra meaning, like as easy or simple as ABC? It means very simple. Or another, to give or to get an A for effort. It's like to acknowledge, to appreciate after doing some task, completing some task. But the result is not so successful. Or another example, again, the picture hasn't changed, right?
Okay, ma'am.
I guess I will have to do it with every next slide. I will take into consideration. So give someone the big E, like there are actual different meanings in different dictionaries. It can be the meaning of rejecting. It can be the end of ending, like relationship, and telling to go away. And even more meanings are possible. Or another example, the last one, like Billy O. It means very much, hard or strongly. And actually, dictionaries provide sometimes various meanings to interpret the same idea. So this is an example of how lingvography works. Some elements, some graphemes, or even letters, sometimes abbreviations, including initial abbreviations, acronyms, can be in the spotlight, can be in the focus, and that can be rather interesting. Let me proceed to next aspect. I do the same. I will change the slide, and again, I will launch the presentation for you to see. I have prepared just a minute. It will take us a minute to watch the video devoted to newly coined words. If possible, let me know if you could hear the sound.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, are you going to play a video, ma'am?
It will take us just a minute.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
Let me stop here. I would like to proceed to the following slide because it will take extra 30 seconds to watch till the end. The link is provided and you'll be able to watch the video to full extent. I would like to provide the example. So once more, neologism, newly coined words, but actually I will have to make alteration to the definition because it could be not only one word, it could be a combination of words. And now you will see how it works. If we were to talk about separate words like doom scrolling of FOMO, like fear of missing something out, or doom scrolling like the act of scrolling through negative or distressing news online or sticking to our gadgets too much. These are the examples of words that are incorporated into our daily life. They are being used quite frequently in the language. I can't but ask you if the picture has changed. Can you see that, right? Recent trends. There are certain words and terms that become rather topical, like Anglo-speak. That is how users adopt the language to navigate online algorithms, or there is so-called a new branch of linguistics, of course in brackets because it's not serious, just to react to certain specific vocabulary and to create new neologism or just new word combinations like Zoom fatigue. Let's see to that what it means. I can't but mention extra linguistic reasons, several reasons for a new word coinage. These are social media platforms, memes, digital discourse, and even crises or pandemics like COVID-19. All these can provide a certain engine and make the language react. And this is the impulse for linguistic innovation. I would like to focus on some of the examples, new words that appeared in the language during the pandemic. Some of them sounds a bit serious, like social distancing. This is a term, and actually it focuses on the distance between individuals to avoid the viruses, sharing the viruses. And like quarantini, a combination of quarantine and martini. So these words are created quite recently. Another example of PPE, personal protective equipment, or Zoom fatigue. I already mentioned this example. This is the feeling of complete tiredness or just being exhausted because of abundance of meetings or virtual classes. So I do hope you will not have Zoom fatigue after my presentation. Let me proceed.
Nothing changes.
Oh, I was absolutely convinced. So that the picture has been changed. Let me show you this. It will take a minute to see that. Quarantine and social distancing. I'm going to proceed to another picture because I already mentioned. What about now? Is the picture changed?
No, ma'am.
Quarantine.
Quarantine again, I see.
Now
What
it is
about
changing,
now?
ma'am. Now it's changed.
So Zoom fatigue, that was the example I have mentioned, and the illustration to see that. One more example, like flatten the curve, a public health strategy to slow virus transmission. And I can't but mention some new words that were taken from TikTok culture. For example, main character energy. Be attentive here. I'm going to give you a task at the end of my presentation, just not only to entertain you, but to provide you with the insight and opportunity how to deal with these words, how to introduce them into your lessons. And I would like to focus on these words in particular. Main character energy, it girl or it boy, as a person who sets certain trends or embodies certain charisma, who is making certain impact on the media. And Reese, this is their term and new word to denote charisma in the context of flirting in particular. I'm going to skip to another slide. Has the picture changed? Like soft life, girl
Yes, ma'am.
dinner.
Yes.
Okay, so one more example of such new words like soft life or delulu to indicate something playful to describe unrealistic hopes or daydreaming. And girl dinner, again, it's used with the humorous effect just to indicate a small amount of something or just almost the plate can be absolutely empty. I will proceed to, just in brief, to show you the amount of words that appeared in the language and have been fixed in the dictionary. Namely, I'm going to focus on the Oxford Advanced Learners in Dictionary. That is just one of the slides to introduce new words from September 2024. I will just scroll these pages because there are more than 160 words. Here is the link to click and to check. The link is working. And one more picture with it because the words are numerous. I can't but mention that these new words were taken just within 1 month. They were fixed actually at least twice a year in Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary. And approximately the same amount of words was fixed in March 2024. So as far as I could judge, more than 300 of words can enter dictionary and vocabulary. But frankly speaking, these are words that have been fixed. And the real number of such words is much higher. So I'm going to proceed to some interesting parts. It would be a kind of a summarizing part. And then we're going to play a game. I can't but say that the global nature of English implies constant borrowing from different languages, influencing other languages as well. And there are such phenomena like code switching, hybrid expressions, adoption of culturally specific terms, and English is the embodiment of multicultural expression. Such famous linguists like David Crystal and Jean Aitchison have been emphasizing for a long time that the current role of English as the world language is due to its diversity, its greatest strengths, namely flexibility and ability to adopt and openness to changes. And now I'm going to change the picture because it's time to play the game. I will give you a minute to look at these words, and if there are any volunteers, or maybe victims in my case, because I have taken a bit more time than I was expected, let's decide. I will, just a couple of minutes. So what is quarantine? Would you like to answer that?
Ma'am,
What
you
would be
can
the
extend your
definition?
time, ma'am. You can extend your time. No issues.
Oh, thank you. It's so kind of you, because I have prepared just a couple of games. We'll play only this. Other games would be for demonstrating what to do with new words. So, how to determine, how to define Reese or girl dinner? Have you decided? If you don't mind, I will show you the answer since I have almost run out of time. So quarantine would be a drink made and enjoyed during quarantine. Reese is charisma, especially when flirting. Doom scrolling, we have already dealt with this notion. That is excessive reading the news, especially stressful ones. Girl dinner, a weird combination to denote just humorous meal, usually made of snacks. And Delulu. Delulu is like unrealistic hope, unrealistic expectation. So I can admit my Delulu was that I would have enough time to present what I've prepared. Let me proceed to one more game, and I will change the part with Arini Zapuhlyak. One more game to play in the class to deal with neologism, newly coined words. Like students can provide definitions to the word or vice versa. You can give the definition, they could guess. So what is the word meaning constant reading of bad news late at night? Is there anyone who has managed to remember this word? Okay, 1, 2, 3, let's see. This is doom scrolling. I will show you another game, what to do. Another activity could be done with newly words. Invent a word challenge. So you can deal with a group or you can give a home task to create a new word in English, because English is so flexible. And students or participants should deal with several questions. What this word is made of, when or how it can be used, or is it useful? Why is it useful? And the example, snackrastinate. Procrastinate, it's like to put aside, and snack, it's about our meal. So this is the example of such a word. One more game, game number 4, would be devoted to social media interview. You can imagine that one of the participants is a TikTok influencer and another is going to be a reporter or a journalist. And there should be like a small talk, a kind of a conversation using different keywords, new words in English, like main character energy, or that could be doom scrolling or other words. And finally, one more activity to do and to present. This is the last one in my activity pack, the power of words. We can bring on the discussion. We can brush up on certain aspects that have been already covered. We can bring up certain questions about the social media influence, the relevance of TikTok vocabulary, or we can think of some words that entered our native, our mother tongue, our language from English. And actually a lot can be said and a lot can be done. For me, it was absolutely impossible to incorporate a huge layer of words that is emerging, is showing up in the language. I do believe there would be another chance to keep on. And currently we're going to proceed to the second aspect of our speech. This part will be devoted to literature. And I'm going to invite Irina Zapuhlyak, my colleague from Vasil Stultz National University in Ukraine. Thank you for your attention. If there are any questions, feel free to ask.
Dear participants, you can interact with our speaker with your queries. Please.
Yes, I'm here. Can I share my screen, please?
Sure. I'm going to quit the sharing of mine.
Thank you, Yaroslav ma'am. Thank you so much.
The pleasure is mine.
Thank you,
for
ma'am, for
inviting.
elaborately introducing us to different branches like corpus linguistics, lingography, and also connecting us to graphology, epigraphy, paleography, etc. We for your thank you for your insightful information on linguistics as well, and getting introducing ourselves to new words like FOMO, doom scrolling, Zoom fatigue, etc. And also involving our participants in a humorous way and involving them with some activities on linguistics. Thank you very much, ma'am. We can't forget the word, the bottom line of your speech that which you have said as English is an embodiment of multiple language. That is true, ma'am.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you once again for your
is.
enlightening and insightful presentation, ma'am. We look forward for such more presentations in future from our side.
Oh, thank you ever so
Thank
much.
you very much,
The
ma'am.
pleasure is mine.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. The plenary session is continued with speaker number 2, Dr. Irina Zapukliak, Senior Lecturer, Department of Theory, Practice, Translation, Results, Donetsk National University, Vinukonda, Ukraine, who is going to present on the genres of literature and the shift of modern English literature. But before that, I now take the privilege of introducing ma'am and reading out her profile. Dr. Irina Zapukliak is working as an associate professor at Vasylstis Donetsk National University since 2018. She has acted as deputy of the theory and practice of translation at Vasylstis Donetsk National University from 1/9/2021 to 31/8/2022, and as a teacher of English as the second language at Vinukonda Cooperative Institute from 2008 to 2018, and specialist in secondary teaching, teacher of English and German languages and literature, Vinukonda Mikhailo State Pedagogical University from 2001 to 2008. Her professional activities include teaching English as the second language, scientific supervision of the term papers and master theses, organizing scientific and educational events, general management of the theory and practice of translation department, relations with the students, their parents, higher university management and stakeholders, representation of the department at various events, relations with the students and their parents in advertising, Vinukonda Cooperative Institute. We extend a sheer gratitude and welcome for your presence in this webinar, ma'am, and get delighted with your presentation. Welcome, ma'am. Over the platform to you, ma'am.
Thank you a lot. Thank you for inviting us, and it's a pleasure to talk about literature. I would like to specify that I'm going to speak on English-speaking literature, mainly of Great Britain, the USA, of Canada, Australia and New Zealand. Unfortunately, in Ukraine, we don't know much about Indian literature, and we would like to broaden our view. So if there is no change of slide, please let me know, because as we are sharing our screens, it's difficult to see what is going on.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Okay. So from ancient Greece, literature was changed. So was divided into poetry, prose, and drama. So I mostly speak about prose, but I need to specify a bit about poetry. So poetry is a piece of literature that uses the rhythmic qualities of language, such as phonetic, sound system, meter to convey meaning. So in Ukrainian, the rhyme is the most important for the poetry. If it's not the white verse, so the lines should, the ends of the lines should sound the same. in English literature and in English poetry, that wasn't that important, because the change of stressed and unstressed vowels and the amount of that vowels were the most important for English poetry. So it was divided into epic, long verse telling the historic events, or telling about some battles, about outstanding heroes, and so on. A narrative, usually a shorter poem, saying about some experience of the author or the narrative, about some journey or something like that. So lyric poetry concerns about the emotions of the writer, emotions, some feelings about love, friendship, about some distress, and so on. And dramatic poetry was written just to stand in front of the audience to present something, and as the concerts were very popular, dramatic poetry was widely used. So drama is some fiction which was tend to be presented at the theaters. So as you know, Greece was very famous for theatrical performances, and it usually had some subdivisions, for example, tragedies that had the main hero whose flaw created difficulties for him. So he was either vain or too kind or something like that. So the flaw of the character influenced their way how he or she dealt. So mostly it was their society that had a conflict with him, or the tragic events all around the world. And comedy was more entertaining, saying about humorous events, depicting some maybe flaws of the society just to highlight them and to change them. Musical appeared a bit later, and it involved some songs as a part of the performance. And melodrama spoke on mostly sad events, but maybe like comparing to tragedy, it wasn't the fault of the main character. Maybe it was the problems of the family, of the society, and so on. Now, let's come to prose. So prose, it's a literary genre with no formal metric structure. So if poetry needs the specific changes of stressed and unstressed vowels, prose is more flexible. It can be quite short, a short story of 1 page long, or it can be huge, 1,000 pages, and so on. So it usually reflects some events or the problems of the society, and it be divided into fiction and non-fiction. So if we talk about non-fiction, it's usually presents the actual facts. So something that the author considers to be important for the society, for other people to know. So they can be divided into memoirs and autobiography, which a person presents his or her life by herself or himself, sharing the emotions, seeing the perspective of the person or what had occurred recently. So, for example, educated by Tara Vasova, who was brought up in a sect with very authoritative tyrannic parents who followed the religion rules and were expecting the end of the world, and how she managed to like escape and build her life after the sect. Or Becoming by Michelle Obama, explaining her choices and the way she became the wife of the president. So biography, it's a story of life written by someone else. So for example, Winston Churchill's biography by Boris Johnson, that see the retrospective. So Boris Johnson can see the mistakes and maybe great deeds of the person. So compared to autobiography, a person may lie or say something that will show him or her in a better way. So biography might be more like less flattering, let me say. So on here, Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson, who tells the success of a great man, a man who created the company Apple that rules and is one of the most influential companies in the world right now. Also, essays is like a subgenre of nonfiction, and it's usually short pieces of writing highlighting some problems of the society, sharing some emotions of the author, or telling about some events that impressed him or her. So here it's the empathy exam of Leslie Jamison, who was hired, she is an actress, and was hired to simulate some like diseases to teach medical students. And she elaborates how we treat other people. So what is a trust? Can we understand other people? So quite interesting short stories telling about different events and showing her attitude to them. And journalism and investigative writing. So these are factual reports, often on current events or social issues. So here you can see Empire of Pain. It's a story of the Sackler dynasty, so Sackler family, who owns the company, which issued Vicodin, a pill that should kill the pain, but actually it became very addictive, and a lot of people just changed the life of different people. But as one of the subgenres, it's a speculation on history, politics, or culture. So it's a research-based narrative or analysis of some events. So here we've got Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. His attempt to understand how people, so humans, evolved from mammals into human beings we know now. Quite similar to that is, oh, sorry. I'm very sorry. I lost. I'll try to get back. Here you are. So similar to the previous subgenre, we can speak about speculations or the events, some books based on science, nature, and psychology. So here it's How I Killed Pluto and Why It Had Been Becoming by Mike Brown. So I've got it in Ukrainian. So it's the story of a scientist who worked in NASA, telling about the events. So it's more about how modern astronomy works. So that's also research-based, and it should be at least very up to the facts. And the last subgenre of nonfiction is self-help or how to do. So here we've got Atomic Habits by James Clear, presenting some ideas of how to change, how to improve our lives. So about time managing, about putting priorities, and so on. And let's speak about fiction. So fiction that it but for so as the opposition of nonfiction, it's something that was created by the author. So nonfiction gives the facts or the emotions of the author, and here it's completely invented events. They may be based on some facts, but mostly that's the imagination of the author. So it can be realistic and unrealistic branches. So I'll tell what I mean. So realistic literature falls into realism. It's the stories depicting familiar objects, real people, very similar to what we see around us. So places without any dramatizing or romanticizing the story. So the aim is just to depict the society at the stage of the development. So here it's Normal People by Sally Rooney, an Irish author who tells about the relationship, class divide, and the struggles of modern people. Family sagas usually present the life of a few generations, so exposing some social problems and the problems of parents and children, for example. So the relations within, or like competing of siblings and so on. So here I suggest A Spool of Blue Thread by Anne Tyler, who tells the life of three generations of Baltimore family and the struggle they had through the year. So it can be a bit historical, but the main idea is to show the development of the characters and change in perception of some events. So here, fiction, and usually it's romance. Sometimes it's called female literature, and it may be a bit offensive because in the 19th century, till the middle of the 19th century, women authors were supposed to write something about love, about friendship, and not about some serious things. So love stories tell the history of relation of a girl and a boy and the difficulty they face. So here you can see Me Before You by Jojo Moyes as the example of such literature. As a subgenre, we can see that rom-coms that present love story in some humoristic way or trying to create some awkward situation or misunderstanding and so on. So here is The Love Hypothesis by Ellie Hazelwood, presenting not just love, but some things. I'm sorry. So another subgenre of the fiction is a mystery. It can be realistic and non-realistic. So here I'll speak about some detective stories that based on some crime and a detective who investigates it. Usually it's a murder, but not obligatory. It could be kidnapping, it can be loss of some things, and so on. So The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith. Actually, it's a pseudonym of Joan Rowling. So I'll speak about the shift, but here I need to tell that, as I just mentioned, women were not considered skillful enough, smart enough to write about serious problems. So detectives, though we have Agatha Christie, one of the most notable women writers, still considered to be the man's role. And Joan Rowling, one of the best-selling authors in the world, decided to use a pseudonym to write about detective stories. So another subgenre of the fiction is thriller. So thrillers build tension. So they intrigue the suspense, and the aim is to make the readers guess what is going on. So it can be the hints of some supernatural, or it can be just the real events, but the people that are involved in it can't understand what is going on. So The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins presents such a thriller with non-reliable narrative who sees the events and sees the perspective of this thriller. Historical fiction uses real-time events to speak about some plots or presenting some problems maybe connected with today's life, just showing how the society changed for the better or for the worse. And here is the book Live by Marcus Zusak, an Australian author, who presented the story of a girl during the World War II. So the narrative is from the perspective of death and a little girl. Horror, it's another subgenre that aims to shock and to frighten readers. So here is The Troop by Nick Carter, Canadian author. It's like the subgenre of subgenre. It's a body horror, usually involving some changes, some infection, and which changes the body, or some cutting and so on. So the horror creating some fears, or just to make people consider how they would behave in such a situation. And in like at the margin of unrealistic and realistic literature is magical realism. So the first novel is 100 Years of Solitude, but now it's quite an popular genre, explaining how, so the most narrative says about the real events, but they have some magical elements which are not explained and are considered the norm. So that's why it's magical realism, not usually not something very unrealistic, but mostly with some hints. So here I give as an example The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. It tells the story of the main characters who came to the end of the lane and can see his life at the age of 7. So the perspective of the events. So it's not clearly realistic, but all the events are mostly realistic ones. And now I'll speak about non-realistic fiction that involves something that doesn't exist in the real life. It also has some subdivisions. So one of them is fantasy, which is based on mythology or some aliens, some like not very realistic creatures like werewolves, vampires, witches, and so on. So here is the example of the Empire of Vampires by J. Christoph. It's a series of books creating like the story of vampires. Okay. Another branch is science fiction or sci-fi that tells about the future, about robots, about time travels, maybe the exploration of the space that can be a cosmo opera, like a subgenre. And speculating about the life as it might be in 100, 200, 100 years. So here is the Murderboard Diaries by Martha Wells, presenting the robot as the main character, which hacked his system and behaves as it wants. So, robots as one of the most popular stories of this literature. But some authors think that our future cannot be very welcoming. So here we've got another subgenre as dystopia. So dystopia presents the world that in a state of apocalyptic events or some dictatorship or something like that. So our future when something went wrong. So The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins present the society where the capital lives the happy life and there are other districts that are in poverty, struggle to survive, and they send the like representatives to fight just to entertain people, so rich people. And one more subgenre, it's alternative history. So it's the world that could be if some events happen differently. So one of the first alternative history events were the Man in a High Castle, which presents the future when Germany and Japan won World War II. And here it's the modern book of 21st century, so 11/22/93 by Stephen King. So a man invents the time machine and goes back in time to save JF Kennedy. And here it's alternative history. So what the world would be if Kennedy wasn't killed. So that's all about the genres. And now I want to just, no, not all of, so the last one is the shift of modern English literature. So the new genre that appeared in the 90s of the 20th century, but became very popular. Nowadays, it's dark academia. So it's a subgenre that focuses on academic life, intellectual pursuit, mystery. So it has like dark mood about some mysteries, about some dark secrets, and the main characters need to find out what is going on. So the setting is usually in old universities. So in Babel by Kwan presents the alternative Oxford. So usually the universities or prestigious boarding schools are the center of the narration. And if we want to talk about the modern shift of English literature, we need to think that we still have differences in perceiving the literature by men and women. Though now they say that we've got 60% of female authors, male characters strongly outnumber female characters. So male are main characters twice as often as women. And male authors tend to center male characters more than female characters. So what is said that 70% of fiction written by men center male characters, and the female authors choose equally, mostly equally, male and female characters. And I mentioned before that women were supposed to write only romances, like stories about love, about being happy, and so on. But now the shift has occurred. So what? Usually female characters become stronger. They are not damsel in distress anymore. So they fight. They don't wait for the prince to come and solve all their problems. So they are ready to act. They are ready to take responsibility. And if we compare the literature of the 19th century of Jane Austen, Bronte's sister, so mostly the happiness of a woman was considered to get married and have children. Charles Dickens has female characters, so Little Dorrit can be a strong character, but women didn't fight. So they could do something to get married, just to have relationships, but they didn't aim to change the society. They didn't want to become professionals. And now in this fiction, they do. So women become detectives, doctors, architects, and so on. So here is a surgeon, a suspense novel by Tess Gerritsen, and she presents two main characters, Maura Isles, a pathologist, and Jane Rizzoli, a detective who are highly motivated, intelligent, and strong women trying to solve crimes. Also, women now try to change the society. They see injustice and fight against it, like Therese Pryor from Divergent trilogy by Veronica Roth. So she sees the flaws of this dystopian world and she tries to change it. Moreover, so I want to say that not only women write strong female characters. So males also can present females as strong, decisive, aggressive, and so on. So here is Mia Corvera from Nevernight, created by J. Christoph, who is an assassin. So not very typical profession for a woman. But here she is strong, she is eager to kill, just to revenge. And one more strong female character is Viv, an orc, from the book Legends and Letters by Travis Baldry. She fights the prejudice of the society. Because she's an orc, she should be aggressive, she should fight, she should be a defense, she should be a warrior. But she wants to open a coffee shop. So she wants to teach and to be a barista, to brew coffee, and be happy with another profession. So it's also the struggle for your idea of what is better for you. So that's all for now. Thank you for your attention. And once again, thank you for inviting us to present it.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your diverse and informative presentation of prose, poetry, and drama, and extremely taking us to the other side of linguistics, namely literature, elaborating the aims of poetry, drama, prose, memoirs, autobiographies, with different genres and subgenres along with illustrations. and subtly shifting us to modern English literature as well. Thank you so much once again for your insightful presentation, ma'am.
Thank you for your
And
attention.
I
You've
request
gotten
the participants, if you have any queries, can interact with the speaker as well. Dear participants, if you have any questions, you can interact with our resource person. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Raina, ma'am. Thank you so much for sparing your valuable time and coming over here with your extraordinary presentation. Thank you once again, ma'am.
Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you, ma'am. Our plenary session is again moving on to speaker number 3 by the name Dr. Elisabetta Marino, Professor of Literature, University of Rome, Tor Vergata, Italy. And she is going to present on a topic cultural encounters, challenges, and opportunities in Tabirkaish narratives. Welcome, Elisabetta Marino, ma'am, to this one-day international webinar on paradigm shifts in English literature and linguistics, a 21st century overview. But before that, we take the privilege to read out the profile, your profile, ma'am. In this regard, I request Mr. Jagdish, M. Jagdish, Head, Department of Commerce, to read out the speaker's profile. Over to you, sir.
Good
Jagdish,
morning.
sir.
Good morning, dignitaries and participants. My name is Malayal Jagdish, lecturer in commerce. I am very delighted to read the profile of Dr. Elisabetta Marino, ma'am. Elisabetta Marino is a full-time professor of English literature at the University of Rome, Tor Vergata, and head of the Asia and the West Research Center. She is the author of 4 monographs, a volume on the figure of Tamlin in British and American literature, an introduction to British Bangladesh literature, a study of the relation between Mary Shelley and Italy, an analysis of romantic dramas on mythological subject. In 2006, she published the first Italian translation of poem by Mary Mazzutti Gillan. Between 2001 and 2023, she edited and co-edited 15 collections of essays and a special forum of Journal of Translation American Studies. She translated a Parkwater, a Victorian novel by the Ellen Wood, for the first time into Italian. She has published extensively on the English romantic writers, especially Mary Shelley and P.B. Shelley. Indian diasporic literature, travel literature, and Italian American literature. She co-edited a special issue, De Genre, Journal of Post-Colonial Literature and Gender Studies, and acted as a guest editor for a special issue of Journal of American Studies of Turkey, focused on Italian-American material culture. With this brief introduction, we cordially welcome you, ma'am, to this webinar to present your topic.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Namaskar.
Namaste, ma'am.
Assalamualaikum.
Welcome to our
Good
college.
morning. Good morning. It's always a privilege and a pleasure to be here with you. And thank you for the kind invitation. So given the topic of this seminar, I decided to focus on a very prominent and interesting diasporic writer of Indian descent, Tabish Kher, and I'm sure you're all familiar with him. And originally I thought I would expand on many of his novels, but then for the sake of time, I decided to focus on his 2012 novel entitled entitled How to Fight Islamist Terror from the Missionary Position, which is extremely insightful, and it is the one that can give you a lot of information on his idea of cultural encounters and also the challenges that are posed by them. But first of all, let me give you a brief introduction of the author in case any of you may not be familiar with him. So Tabishkeh was brought up in a Muslim family in the ancient town of Gaia, a vibrant crossroads of cultures and religions, and he grew up as a cosmopolitan person. And in his own words, since childhood, and I quote, he was attracted to the world and was interested in difference, end quote. He is currently based in Denmark, where he works as an associate professor in the Department of English at the University of Aarhus, and is not just a highly reputed scholar, because he has written many critical essays, but also an award-winning poet, a much-praised playwright, and a prolific novelist. Dvivedi and Cristina Games Fernandez have recently described him as a humanist, and I quote, a socially responsible writer who writes not to entertain, but to provoke thought and thus augment moral and ethical values in society, end quote. Besides, also the critics have highlighted his resistance to what they call theoretical straitjacketing, his staunch refusal to be categorized as either a diasporic or a postcolonial, postmodern, transnational writer. So he refuses every label. In his view, every literary label imposes unavoidable restrictions, the choice of customary lenses and privileged perspectives that fail to capture the complexity of a multifaceted work of art, which mirrors a dynamic and ever-changing reality. As Keir himself wrote in 2010 in an article entitled Non-Fiction, valuable books are those that make you think anew, that escape deeply ingrained and often biased perceptions that undermine traditional sets of beliefs. So they are texts that make you think. In his work entitled Reading Literature Today, which is a volume that he wrote with his friend and colleague Sebastian Dubinsky and published in 2011, he also expanded on this concept, and he stated that, and I quote, literature is not a sedative or a balm. It is not a god or a moral code. It is not even a refuge, an oasis of sense. Literature is where we are confronted with the possibilities, the problems, the limits of language, which are finally also the problems of reality and representation. Literature qua literature is that which always presses against the limits of language. In that sense, to read literature is to read also the gaps, the silences, obstacles, and noise in its language, end quote. So, according to this definition of literature, the reader envisaged by the author is not a passive consumer of linear and highly legible texts, which are often based on dichotomies and fixed categorizations. Quite the opposite, the reader is an active thinker and interpreter. And reminiscent of Seamus Ennis' famous poem, the reader is also engaged in a process of digging, of uncovering hidden, albeit worthy of observation, possibilities. So, given what has been argued so far, I will focus now on this novel with a very provocative title, How to Fight Islamist Terror from the Missionary Position. And I will show you the strategy devised by the author to challenge assumptions, to expose the limits of misconceptions and stereotypes, which fatally lead to mistrust and conflict. Even though the reference to Islamist terror suggests a plot centered on current political scenarios, indeed the text was written just after the Mohammed cartoon controversy, the 2011 Norway attack, as well as the Arab Spring, so the context is highly challenging, but the novel actually subverts the reader's expectations and surprisingly unravels a story of friendship, of love, of misunderstanding, of pain, and also betrayal. So it's a completely different story from what the title might suggest. Nonetheless, like all Kair's volumes, How to Fight Islamist Terror from a Missionary Position is undeniably a political narrative in the broader sense of the term, as the writer elucidated in a 2012 interview with Sébastien Dubisky. He said that to be political is to be aware of how human beings respond to each other and socio-political organisms like states or established religion in their daily lives. So let me tell you a little bit more about the plot of this text. The plot is set in modern-day Aarhus, the city in Denmark that Tabish knows very well. There are three main characters. The unnamed narrator, who is a university English teacher who was born into a Pakistani Muslim family. Ravi, who is a flamboyant Indian Brahmin and a promising writer, who is struggling with his PhD in history. And then there is Karim, a fervently religious Muslim, and he's also a taxi driver from India in his mid-40s, and a good decade older than the other two immigrants. So Ravi and the unnamed narrator, who has just faced divorce, end up renting 2 rooms from Karim, who hosts a Quranic study session every Friday, frequently receives odd phone calls that prompt him to vanish for a few days and seem to be doing his utmost to earn an increasing amount of money. So he's a dubious person if we judge by the surface. As the story proceeds and the 2 younger characters become romantically attached to Danish women, the narrator grows suspicious that Karim may belong to a terrorist cell. So there is this background which is also delved into. Hence, when one of the participants in the Quranic study sessions turns out to be the infamous protagonist of the so-called Islamist Axe plot, which is an invention of the writer, the narrator decides to report him to the police. Needless to say, Karim is innocent. The mysteries of his life, even the sudden disappearances and weird telephone calls, revolve around his 23-year-older Danish ex-wife. And some years before, she had decided to file for divorce, not to burden Karim with her ailment. She suffered from Alzheimer's disease, and with her different needs and expectations connected with elderly age. Nevertheless, because he was still in love with her, Karim had continued to care for her. So instead of being a terrorist, he's just a caring, loving human being. Tabish Ker's controversial title for his novel has received much critical attention. According to Estedino Adami, it aims at intertwining a range of sensitive topics because it provokingly alludes to religion, terrorism, and also sex. Amita Arni regards the title as a pun, anticipating one of the main challenges of the topic. In her opinion, the Islamist terror is not just a reference to terrorism, but also to the terror the assimilated immigrant feels about the unassimilated. Furthermore, she maintains that the missionary position alludes to both Karim's religious zeal and to the attitudes inculcated in the missionary-run schools, attended by both young Ravi and the narrator. Conversely, Jane Howsham credits Cahir's publisher with suggesting a catchy title. And obviously, this title is capable of attracting the readers. But what has been generally overlooked is the irony embedded in the beginning of the title, the how-to, which is typical of instruction manuals and of the self-help genre. By pretending to provide a simplified set of indications to be followed slavishly on how to cope with pivotal issues, Tabish Khair confronts his readership with a world of uncertainties, of multiple possibilities, of individual and collective fabrications which unsettle every form of stability, even the dull fixity of stereotypes. Cahir's active reader is therefore compelled, in this case, to think anew and to dig for concealed meanings. Humor, which is something that, as the author himself said in a 2014 interview, is what enables us to survive, is a powerful instrument employed by Cahir to destabilize derogatory categories imposed from the outside, as well as to reverse their undermining potential. On one occasion, the cliched portrayal of the Asian extended family is fruitfully exploited by Ravi and the narrator to rid themselves of their disappointing Danish dates. Pretending to go to the toilet, the narrator tells and calls Ravi on his mobile phone from the outside of the bar, mumbling a 1960 Bombay film song to the receiver. In turn, Ravi replies something stupid, something that does not exist in Hindi, with few suitably intonated English words, especially hospital, 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 so that they can rid themselves of the situation they're in. So by profiting from the conventional disparaging portrayals of immigrant family that are all crammed, quote, into little Denmark, Ravi makes up the compelling account of a terrible accident occurred to one of his countless cousins who, as the two sympathetic Danish girls perfectly understand, requires his and the narrator's immediate assistance. So they leave the girls alone and they can escape. It should not pass unnoticed that throughout the plot, Ravi, identified by the writer as a dramatist, creates narrative, so invents story, while feeding Dane's biased imagination. And these stories are ironically crafted to his and his friends' advantage. So he refuses to perform the traditionally assigned part of the other, the immigrant, the outsider. Ravi cleverly pieces together successful stories, drawing from the very assumptions and preconceptions that supposedly are aimed at stigmatizing visibly different foreigners. So, like Hamlet giving advice to the actors in the rotten state of Denmark, therefore, Ravi urges the narrator to reinvent his past in order to match the expectations of this lady. Humorously enough, the narrator's love story with Miss Marks begins, without him knowing, thanks to one of those longed-for intriguing Oriental tales narrated by Ravi that throughout incredibly captivates the woman. So there is this invented story of a veiled mother, a bearded father, married at the age of 15, the son divided between his halal mentality and the desire to make it in the pork-eating West. So even the language that is used by Tabish Khair is highly evocative of stereotypes. And therefore, stereotypes can be used profitably in this case to get out of difficult situations. So Tabish Care also challenges assumptions and stereotypes by revealing the intimate connection between reality and fiction, to such an extent that, as he highlighted in a 2012 interview with Salavastri Datta, quote, each defines the other, each exists with the other. All our realities are partly fiction, and even our wildest fiction is partly real. So there is no clear-cut boundary between fiction and reality. So in How to Fight Islamist Terror from the Missionary Position, the author forcefully demonstrates that even identities can be mutable, fluid, porous, and even constructed. Any attempt to bracket them proves to be vain. And consequently, Ravi, who is a Brahmin, enthusiastically explores other possibility, even joining the Quranic study sessions held by Karim. He grows a beard on his face to ascertain whether it impedes the progress through customs in the European airport, fashions his life by combining the truth with fictional elements. Stereotypes can be challenged because realities are fluid. So in the second half of the novel, he decides to come out of the closet, revealing his homosexuality and blissfully moving into his partner's untidy house in the countryside. So as the narrator prophetically observes, I wonder at the difference between what seem to be and what we are to ourselves. So we all invent our own life. We all tell ourselves even stories we end up believing in. Likewise, Lena, Ravi's Danish girlfriend, the seemingly epitome of flawless perfection, poise and grace, is trapped into her expected niceness, into her, quote, doll's smile stapled to her face. She's a prisoner of herself. As the narrator underlines, and she's on stage all the time, a skilled performance, even though twice in the story, her mask of confidence poise slips. So Tabish Care demonstrates that we all perform parts on the stage of life. So at the beginning of the narrative, while gazing at Ravi and Lena, the narrator is impressed by their similarities. They're both beautiful, they have he has Bollywood looks, and the perfection of Lena's Nordic features is matched. He has jet black hair and she's got dark and golden locks. So they seem to be the perfect match. But a further observation leads to the unexpected consideration that they are noticeably dissimilar. And I quote, when I had seen them together the first time, I had been struck by how similar they were despite the difference, but this time I was struck by how different they were despite their similarities. So everything you look at, depending on when you look at phenomena, how you look at phenomena, changes. So reality is mutable. The very architecture of the novel contemplates multiple perspectives because the narrative is interlaced with dreams, with Ravi's short story, and with digressions. We go back and forth in time. So linearity and the linearity of the either-or perspective is completely upset. So needless to say, I mean, the narrator's doubts, suspicions, and biases towards Karim, the alleged fundamentalist, also exposes readers to the risk of contracting what we may term a widespread social disease, which is selective blindness. That is the inability to embrace difference, since stereotypes are the only set of lenses through which the other is scrutinized and his or her actions interpreted. So, trusting the obscure words of an unreliable narrator, who even refrains from disclosing his own real name, some readers may end up believing that the taxi driver Karim is actually a terrorist, even though the recurring references to the effective narratological strategies suggested to the narrator by his ex-girlfriend bear clear witness to the fact that this story, like every story, is actually filtered, constructed, recreated by the person who relates it. Conversely, the attentive, actively engaged, and sympathetic reader fostered by Tabish Care will not fail to notice the numerous details that actually concur to shape a rather different image of Karim. So Karim is a tidy person, is calm, determined, precise, very conscientious. He blushes every time the narrator discusses freely sex-related topics, and he never says anything critical about Denmark, about the place he lives in. He carefully avoids anything that resembles gossip. So he's the most reliable person, actually, but we end up believing he's a terrorist. More than likely, he has decided to hide his long-lasting relationship with his former and still beloved spouse just to protect her dignity, not to expose her painful illness to those outside the close circle of the family. Karim's unfaltering faithfulness to her makes him a fundamentalist, but in this new acceptation of the term, implying generous sacrifice, unselfish devotion, and a profound respect for the other, who becomes an extension of himself. So he does not believe that his wife is other to him. He suffers with her and for her. So these are all qualities that Tabish Care, the humanist, actually firmly believes that are needed in the world, which is increasingly dominated by misconception, distrust, and fear. So to wrap it up, because time is up and I want to leave a little bit of time for questions, this text by Tabish Care, like many other texts that he produced over time, teaches us that we cannot judge by the surface of phenomena. We cannot simply condemn people because they belong to one culture that is labeled to be alien or enemy to us. We are all human beings. We are all belonging to a wide family, which is a human family. We're all interconnected. So if we look at the others, we should also look at ourselves, mirroring the others. And we should try to see difference not as a threat, but as a potential and for mutual growth and mutual advancement in society. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you so much. It was a very wonderful presentation. I would like request participants to ask if you have any questions to our resource person. Thank you.
Even if you have curiosities about other works by the writer, whatever.
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Hello. And how are you, ma'am?
I'm fine. I'm fine. And you?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm fine. And thank you very much for your wonderful lecture. And you have left no stone untouched in your concise lecture. And because of scarcity of time as well, you have touched almost all the points that the text chosen by you. And I express my heartfelt thanks to you on behalf of the organizing college for your valuable and innovative ideas presented in your lecture. And your credential shows It speaks volume of your intellect and literary bent of mind and how much well versed you are in English literature. Thank you very much for your lecture, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm
And
always happy if I can interact
we,
and share.
we also hope that in future we will collaborate in more academic pursuit, academic you can say events. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for sensitizing us with an unique author, Zabish Kher. We got to know from your presentation that he is not an author writing for entertainment alone, but for thought provocation in the reader's mind.
Yes.
It's very great to hear about such an author through you. And by the way, the phrase which you have used in your presentation that all his novels involve the rotten state of Denmark. Rotten state of Denmark reminds us of one more
Hamlet.
author, Indian-born author, but settled in Denmark as well, like the same one, Amulya Malladi, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Amulya Malladi's novel also revolves like this only. She also has projected the same phrase in her novel Death in Denmark, in her latest novel, ma'am.
Can you please write in the chat box the name of this author, because I want to look into.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. It's my privilege actually. When you just circulated this phrase in your presentation, immediately it got reminded me of her novels as well, because all her novels, the protagonist, of course, she has also settled in Denmark as well, but she is an Indian-born author. And in her novels also, she has used this phrase as the something is rotten in the state of Denmark. Okay, so from your presentation, I just came to know that whosoever are Indian born and settled in Denmark will be coming up with the same phrase.
Yeah, and the same phrase comes from Shakespeare, from Shakespeare's Hamlet. So
yes, ma'am. Yes,
they both drew from from Shakespeare. Interesting, very interesting.
So immediately I got somewhat enthusiastic to listen more to your presentation as well. But anyway, ma'am, you have given us some kind of what I can say, some kind of driving force to read Tabir Kai's novel as well. Thank you so much once again. I'll put the name of the novelist in the chat box, ma'am.
Please.
If at all, I just want to collaborate with you in future, in your future ventures and pursuits as well, academic pursuits. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you once again for sparing your valuable time and coming up with a very fantastic and unique presentation of an Indian author settled in Denmark. Thank you once again. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
File. Over to you, Naisarov, sir. Please, sir. Sir? Naisarov, sir?
Yes, madam.
Please read out the profile of Yahya Fatima, ma'am, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and warm welcome to our participants. It is my great pleasure and honor to introduce our resource person, Dr. Fatima Yahya, for today international webinar. Dr. Fatima Yahya is currently working as an associate professor of English language dialectics at University of Gardia, Algeria. She has published 7 articles in most reputed international journals since 2021. Her scientific activities include
Conference Chair of International Online Conference, Digital Technologies for Teaching, Culture in the EFL Classroom, Integration Challenges and Updates. She had participated in several national and international conferences in the fields of literature and dialectics. Madam was a member and chair of several doctorates defense committees. She was a member in many scientific journals, discourse analysis, and lexical comparative literature studies laboratory. And she was also a member of the scientific committee in several national and international conferences. A warm welcome to you, ma'am, for this international webinar on paradigm shifts in English literature and linguistics. And I request you to present your session, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Okay, good morning.
We
Good
render a
afternoon.
very warm welcome from our college, ma'am, to this event. We are very happy to have you here, and we are very enthusiastic and curious ahead for your presentation as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, dear professors and doctors, hello. This is Dr. Fatima Yahya from University of Gardaya, Algeria. First of all, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Government Degree College for your kind invitation. Thank you very much, Dr. Vazan, the head of department, for your kind invitation and your outstanding work. I'm very delighted. I'm very happy to be with you today. First of all, I want to say or to send you warm greetings from Algeria to all my dear colleagues and my dear doctors here from Ukraine, from Italy, and of course, my dear colleagues from India. Concerning Okay, so concerning this interesting international webinar, it's paradigm shifts in English literature and linguistics. Today for my presentation, I'm going to speak or to deal with the opposite side. It means what type or what kind of shift did English as a global language affect or made on our Algerian linguistic and sociolinguistic context? So me, I'm going to deal with the opposite side of this topic. So please let me share my PowerPoint.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I think it's clear for you, my PowerPoint?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so as you see here, my presentation are entitled Features of Globalized English in Algeria from a primary school to university. It means in my presentation, I am going to explain how did the Algerian linguistic context transformed over years from our main Arabic language to English. And in fact, our linguistic context is so complex since in Algeria we have our first language, which is classical Arabic, in addition to other many dialects, and plus to our L2 or second language, which is French. And this is due to historical background related to French colonization to Algeria from 1830s till 1962. So here the situation is very complex and very different. I hope you will get extra information with me today. So, significance of English in the globalized world. English. English has become, so English has become, So English has become a global language that connects people from different countries and cultures. English is the primary language used in international business, science, technology, and diplomacy. So learning English can open up opportunities for communication and collaboration with people from around the world. Concerning challenges in learning English in Algeria, so although English proficiency opens doors to a wide range of social reactions and promotes a sense of belonging in multicultural society, many Algerians feel more anxious about speaking English, especially in front of native speakers due to the special case of Algeria's linguistic and sociolinguistic status. I'm going to explain this status. As you see here, Algeria is in fact a bilingual country or bilingual society. People in the same country, in the same region, in the same state, or even in the same home can speak two languages, French or Arabic. So, first of all, let me introduce for you Algeria and its geographical situation. So Algeria, as you see here in the map, this is the surface of Algeria here, and this is Algiers, which is the capital of Algeria. So Algeria is located in North Africa. It is an African country, and it is bordered by the Mediterranean Sea to the north, Tunisia and Libya to the east, and Niger and Mali to the south, and Mauritania and Morocco to the west. So with a total area almost to 4 million kilometers square, Algeria is the second largest country in Africa. I'm showing here you the map in order to know or to explain deeply the situation of Algeria, because its geographical situation is related to its bilingual status. In other words, Algeria it is an Arabic country and belongs to the Maghreb countries. Maghreb countries, it means Morocco, Tunisia, and Libya and Mauritania, okay, also. So these countries, they have nearly the same linguistic status because they were all nearly colonized by France, and French language is considered as the second language in all these countries. So we all share the same situation, okay? So I am going to explain for you how did English spread nowadays in Algeria and tends to replace French and even affects our Arabic language. So in Algeria, French along with Arabic are used in administration. We use Arabic and French in our administrative dealings and even papers and communication. We use it in schools. We use them in airports. Sorry. We use them in signboards, at university, at hospitals, and also in ESP classes. When I say ESP classes, here it means it is used in biology, faculty, medicine, technology sciences, teachers teach their lectures or deliver their lectures in French, not in Arabic, in our most ESP classes at university. So aspects of French language use in Algeria. In Algeria, you can find both code mixing and code switching in its full image. So example here, as you see in the first table, I can give you an example of this French expression, je cuisine dans la cuisine. In English, we translate it as I cook in the kitchen. So the kitchen is synonym to la cuisine in French. Listen please to our Arabic dialect, Algerian Arabic dialect. We say راني نطيب في الكوزينة. Cuisina, it is from cuisine. And you see this code mixing, we add a or we add the sound a to the French word cuisine to mean the kitchen. And also here in the second table, we have code switching. Quand tu as une mauvaise note, ce n'est pas mon problème. When you get a bad mark, it's not my problem. In Algeria, we use this kind of code switching, ce n'est pas mon problème, in our daily Arabic dialects. We say, كي تدي نقطة ضعيفة, ce n'est pas mon problème. Okay? French words integration into Algerian Arabic. We have two types of French words integration, either complete French word integration or borrowed French words. Example here, we have station. What is in English station? In our Algerian Arabic, we borrow the word as it is. We say station. And you see it here in Arabic spelling, the same thing in French. We say stylo, pen. The same thing in Arabic dialects. We say l'arrêt, it means stop. Sac, it means bag. We take the French word as it is in our, or we use it as it is in our daily language. So another borrowed French words, it means not the complete words. For example, the word savon, which is in English soap, we say saboun in Arabic. We have bicyclette, what is in English bicycle. We say in Arabic, we say bicyclette. You see, bicyclette, we say bicyclette. So a machine, in English machine, we say machina. La Poste, it means post office, we say posta. We transform the S sound to sh. We say posta. And table, it means la table. En français, we say table. I am going to show you here some models of Algerian social media pages in French. These are some real examples from some social media or Facebook pages, Algerian Facebook pages. You see the title here of their page is Vêtements. It means clothes in English. Gâteau Milina Sofia. It means suits of this girl Milina. You see, in Algeria, on our Facebook pages, we use the French and the content is in Arabic. So the French is for the title of the page. You see the effects of French. So other models of Algerian social media pages in French, we have Secret de beauté, it means secrets of beauty. Les merveilles de Omnia, okay? All these are French titles of social media pages, but the content is in Arabic, in fact. So I'm going to show you also examples of shops replying in French on Messenger. You see here this page, Dar al-Anaqa, it means Maison d'Elegance, it means elegance home. And I'm showing here you a conversation. It is my personal conversation with a shop selling shoes. You see here I sent them a question in Arabic. Assalamu alaikum. It means hello. So they answered me in French. Bonjour, merci. de nos savoirs or de nos savoirs contactés. You see? And me, I understand. It means me as a client, I understand the French expression or their French reply, but spontaneously I answer them in Arabic, as you see here. من فضلك, if you have, it means please if you have this size, okay? You see here the effects of French on our daily language use. So now we are going to explain the shift from French, this effect of French into English nowadays as a global language. So from 1962, the date of our independence, till 2020, French was the second language at Algerian primary schools. It means in our Algerian primary schools, we teach French from third year level. We start from first year with Arabic, second year, and we begin with our L2, which is French at third year level. From 1980s till 1960s, this is the textbook of our pupils at primary school, and this is the modified one from the 2000s, okay? It is always French. However, English nowadays is used at our primary schools. Now we are teaching English from third year level primary school. Okay, and even we teach it along with French also. We teach Arabic, French, and English. You see the shift nowadays in English use. So here I'm showing you text examples of our textbooks of primary school for third year, for fourth year, and this is an example from pages, okay? English at the current Algerian university. So we use English at primary school. We teach English and French and Arabic. Also middle school, the same thing. Secondary school, the same thing. We teach Arabic, French, and English. However, nowadays, English at universities is used widely. In the past, we were using French at our universities in different faculties in our daily conversations. But now, from 2021 till 2025, at our Algerian universities, our Ministry of Higher Education now is encouraging English use through many procedures. I mentioned them as courses for training teachers from different faculties on speaking and writing in English. We have courses for training doctorate students from different faculties on speaking, writing, and in English. When our students pass their doctorate context, the first step they do is they have to have training courses in English. Even if they do their doctorate in other or at other faculties, mathematics, biology, social sciences, they all are obliged to have training courses in English, not in French as in the past, okay? So we have announcement in English on faculties, websites, social media. Now we use English in our social media university sites. We have also signboards in English in different faculties in English. We have also encouraged teachers from different faculties to publish books and articles in English. I show you here some signboards or logos in English and Arabic at our Algerian universities. For example, in this first photo, this is a signboard for a faculty of letters and arts. You see here we use Arabic and English. In the past, we were using Arabic and French. Now everything is changed. So this is a logo of one of our universities, which is Schlef University. As you see here, we have Arabic and we have English. And this one is a real example of my university, Gardaya. This is a photo from our official Facebook page of our university. You see here, it's titled جامعة غردايا. It means University of Gardaya in Arabic and in English. So, signs of English use in Algeria in our daily life. You see here some examples from our shops. We have Omar shoes. We have a new look. Now we are using English even in our streets, as you see here. CD Ayad Center and passenger station. We have here the hospital, the court, and the tax center also. You see here Arabic and English. So English in Algeria, social media accounts. Also here we have, these are some accounts of Algerian shops. They use English, not French, as you see in the earlier slides. You see here some Algerian Facebook pages in English. We have Jabber Market and Kader Shop and Queen's Garden. You see, we use English as a title, but the contents of their Facebook pages is in Arabic. So the title is just for English, okay? English is just for the title. I have here an example of some YouTube channels titles in English, Sheima Vlogs and Sabah Kitchen. Okay, Sabah is an Algerian name, Kitchen. You see here, this is a cook. She is a housewife. She has no background or information about English. She speaks only her dialect Arabic, Algerian dialect Arabic, but her title of her YouTube channel is in English, and the contents, as you see here, is in Arabic. So this is the effect of global English in Algeria. So English role as a global language. So with the ever-growing levels of interconnectivity and globalization around the world, the significance of immediate and appropriate modes of communication has been increasing very rapidly in this modern world. It is an undeniable fact that there is a need for a common language to communicate with the present growing commerce and trade between companies from all over the world. With the development of informatization as well as globalization, it is evident that most people all over the world are communicating with the people of other regions in only one internationally recognized language, that is English. So English, being the first world language, is said to be the first global lingua franca, and it is the most widely used language in the world in the international trade, diplomacy, international telecommunications, scientific publications, publishing newspapers, and other books. So English role as a global language. So most of the students who go to foreign countries to pursue their higher education should know English language. So one of the factors that made English either in Algeria or other countries as a global language is the need of our students, for example, those who continue or pursue their studies abroad, they need English language for a global communication. So almost all the books of science, engineering, information and technology, medicine, tourism, business, and so on are written only in English. So we are obliged to learn English to read these books. Furthermore, almost the courses are taught in English in foreign countries. AI and revolutionizing the way of the world learns English. Since the spread of English is due to many factors, as the need of diplomacy, conversation, negotiation, the role of trade, and the need to pursue our studies, and we need English. I see that one of the main factors that helped English to be a global language is artificial intelligence spread. Okay, So the advent of AI in educational settings has been revolutionary, especially in the context of English language learning. Advanced platforms utilize AI-powered tools like SpeechRater to offer personalized and adaptive learning experiences, which are tailored to the unique needs and abilities of each learner. These AI-powered tools analyze individual progress and dynamically adjust to the educational content accordingly, enabling learners to progress at an optimized pace. This personalized approach not only enhances learning efficiency, but also significantly boosts language acquisition rates. So the role of AI in meeting global needs for English language learning. So AI's global scaling of educational offerings is revolutionary, especially for language learning. AI-powered tools democratize access to high-quality personalized education, allowing learners from diverse backgrounds to improve English effectively. So these platforms personalize the learning journey, helping users focus on specific challenges and enable their skills. So using AI in English learning represents a significant shift, creating more inclusive and efficient educational experiences. This change addresses current educational need while encouraging lifelong learning and communication skills. So now AI facilitates learning English and personalize the process of learning English. We don't need real classroom teachers, but we can learn English easily and rapidly via AI. So AI plays an effective role in transforming English as a global language. It also ensures learners receive necessary support to reach their goals. Advantages of AI-driven platforms for English proficiency as a global need. So AI-powered language learning platforms offer several clear advantages over traditional methods. Global accessibility, quality content worldwide, and we have breaking down geographical and socioeconomic barriers, providing a highly personalized educational experience by the adaptive learning technologies used by these platforms. And these platforms adjust in real time to the learner's evolving strengths and weakness, ensuring effective sessions. We have also the implementation of sophisticated algorithms and machine learning models delivers tailored feedback and guidance, identifying areas needing improvement while reinforcing learning through practice and repetition. Here I mean that even in language assessment, now we have learning autonomy of English or autonomous self-assessment through different AI applications and platforms. So we have identified areas needing improvement while reinforcing learning through practice and repetition. This personalized approach fosters a deeper understanding of English language skills, which is necessary for mastering English. For overcoming some challenges in AI-powered English language learning, the digital divide remains a significant barrier. So even AI plays an important role in learning English. However, we have some challenges. So example, not all potential learners have equal access to the necessary technologies to benefit from AI-enhanced educational tools. And addressing this issue requires not only technological situation, but also policy-driven approaches to ensure widespread access to necessary digital resources. So, future prospects for enhancing AI role in global English learning. So, as we look towards the future, the role of AI in English language learning appears increasingly promising. However, learning AI full potential educational settings necessitates ongoing research, development, and ethical considerations. So it is crucial to develop AI tools that are not only effective, but also equitable, inclusive, and culturally sensitive. So different AI tools such as SpeechReader and My Speaking Score are at the forefront of this transformative process, continually evolving to meet the diverse needs of learners globally. So these platforms exemplify how AI can be used to create more inclusive, engaging, and effective language learning experiences. So by continuing to refine and advance AI technologies within the educational store, there is a potential to significantly enhance the efficiency and accessibility of learning English as a second language. This would not only democratize education, but also empower individuals across the globe by providing them with the tools to succeed in a highly interconnected world. So I'm going also to go back to our Algerian case, and now with challenges of learning English with AI advancements. I see that while AI has made English language learning easier, our Algerian learners, for them, it is quite challenging to adjust to two factors. The first one is the growing demand for English across various fields. So our Algerians now get or have the responsibility to learn English. It is an obligation now to use it for our scientific publications, for continuing our studies or pursuing our studies abroad. So learning English is an obligation for our Algerian learners. So this is in itself a challenge. Another challenge is also what the ongoing advancement in AI tools designing for learning English. So now we are obliged and we are inherent to learn English at the same time to get our AI, it means skills for using different platforms and applications. So as another real science of sign for, sorry, as another real sign or symbol of using English at our university. We have, I'm going to share with you here my Facebook page. I don't know, what is it here? Okay. So, as you have introduced as you have introduced me at the beginning, and thank you very much for your interesting introduction of my profile. So you have mentioned that I have organized an international conference on integrating digital technologies for teaching culture in the EFL classroom. And this is one of the symbols of generalizing the use of English at our university, where our Ministry of Higher Education encouraged us to organize different seminars or international seminars in English. And I can show you here, this is an example from my Facebook page about about my seminar. I don't know. Is it clear for you?
No, ma'am, it's not visible. Now it's visible, ma'am.
Good. So this is my Facebook page where I introduce it. I created this Facebook page specially for my international seminar. And you see here, this is a photo from the event. You see here the online international conference on digital technologies for teaching culture in the EFL classroom, integration challenges and updates. And here I have received many conversations sorry, many papers from different countries. It's about 13 foreign countries, as you see here. I have my keynote speakers here from USA, from Germany, from Indonesia, from Oman, Saudi Arabia, and Spain, and also our keynote speakers from Algerian universities. So I have also some guests from India, and I was very happy of that. Uh, I'm showing you here some. This is the video of announcing my seminar. And I have here my guests from India, Dr. Dinesh Kamer and Dr. Nidhi Sharma. And I have here my guests from different countries. Uh, in this international seminar, we have spoke a lot about integrating artificial intelligence for teaching English, and you can follow the different videos. You see here we have many. I have recorded all the videos about my seminar about the use of AI. As you see here, can AI replace teachers? This is one of the conversations or the discussion sessions. Should culture be acquired or taught? As you see here, we have many. You can have many videos about this international seminar where our higher Ministry of Higher Education encourage us to organize this kind of seminars as a sign of global English in Algeria and the shift from French to English. And you can find here, I don't know if I think this, can you hear the sound? Is
Ma'am?
the sound shared for you?
No,
Yeah.
ma'am, it's not audible. Is it a video?
Can you hear the sound of the video?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, I think it's. I tried this last night, but it doesn't. You can please. I will write for you the link in the chat box here to join my Facebook page and to see the summary of my seminar, as you see here.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, as you see here. Okay. So. So I invite you all to follow my Facebook page, and you find also on my Facebook page my YouTube link of my YouTube channel, my TikTok account, and my Instagram, and where you can find all the videos of my international seminar. Okay, okay. So at the end, I want to tell you. Thank you very much for your kind attention, and I was very happy to meet you today in this outstanding conference. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, ma'am, for showcasing the status of English in the academic sector of Algeria. Your versatile presentation has taken all of our participants to Algeria virtually. So we came to virtually, we are able to witness the status of English language and the challenges you are facing, Algerians are facing in learning English. And we even came to know that even if there are, with the guidance and assistance of AI tools as well, again, you are facing some more challenges in speaking fluent English. So, and also we are very sensitized on this fact, ma'am, actually. Very much sensitized. And of course, while compared to your countries, our country is far better in the pronunciation and all other things as well, as far as English language is concerned. But we are very happy that for your efforts and guidance and your strenuous efforts you are putting in the education sector for teaching fluent English global language. Thank you for your wonderful and pitch rescue presentation of English textbooks, trainings, signboards of English, both at Arabic and English level at your Algerian universities. Very happy to witness all those things through your presentation, ma'am. Once again, I extend my sheer gratitude for your participation and sparing of your valuable time to come up virtually in this webinar through your presentation. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you once again. We expect to see you in future through this. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am. We expect you to see you again with some more innovative presentations in future. Thank you very much, ma'am.
I will do so, and it's my pleasure.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dear participants, if you have any queries, you can just put it in your chat box, or you can even interact with our resource person as well. If there are any queries, you can interact with the resource person. You can ask questions. Is there any questions, dear participants? Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, dear participants. A small announcement to you. Here we are winding up the pre-session of our webinar. We will be having lunch break between 1 and 2. And after the technical session will be starting from 2 to 3 and 3 to 4. 2 slots will be there for technical session. So the first technical session will be jointly chaired by Dr. Rahul Sriram Sutke, Associate Professor and Head, Dr. Gopal Rao Ketkar Mahavidyalaya, Gadegaon Telhara District, Akola, Maharashtra, and Professor Oksana Babalyuk, Professor Foreign Languages and Translation Studies Department, Lever State University of Life Safety, and which will be commencing between 2 to 3 p.m. And the second technical session will be chaired by Dr. Gurpreet Kaur, Assistant Professor and Head, PG Department of English, Sri Guru Tej Bahadur Khalsa Junior College, Sri Anandpur Sahib, Punjab. So we welcome you all after the lunch break session, and we need your share participation in this regard. Thank you so much. After the lunch break, we will meet. Thank you.